What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fourth and Goal Sports Show. I'm your host, Tyrus Filson. We're back again with another live. Today, I'm joined by my cornerstone, a mentor of mine in the broadcast game, comedian Coy, and our main guest for tonight, a good friend of mine. We've been talking for a long time. One of my favorite athletes, my guy, Christian Haddock, GP,
Oh,
smooth.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How you
Appreciate
feeling
it.
tonight, man?
Bless, man. That's good. Feel like, a lot better. Everything going smooth. Making that pivot in life. How about y'all?
Good man. I'm just excited. The boxing game is an exciting place, man, and you are in it.
Yeah,
You are there, man.
definitely, definitely.
It's an exciting time for boxing, and I'm so happy for you, man.
For sure. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Definitely can't wait to get back in the mix. Definitely been a little long, little rough, little road, but like I said, we here and that's all a part of it. So, like I said, y'all definitely be seeing me soon, back in the mix very soon.
Now
Definitely,
your
definitely.
your name is Grandpa Smoke. Am I saying
Smooth,
that
smooth,
smooth?
smooth. SMOOVE.
Okay, it's I couldn't read the rest of it on there, but Grandpa Smooth,
Yeah.
man. So I, you know, Tyrus says to bring me up to speed here. Where did that name come from? I'm just very curious. That's such a different, unique fight name, man.
Yeah, so the fight name like is really condensed into GP Smooth, but the whole thing is Grandpa Smooth. So the word like smooth in general, y'all can hear me.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we get it.
but it went smooth. But yeah, so like Smooth, that name followed me all out through high school, all the way till now. Like just college. Like I got that from my high school coach, football coach Zay, because he'd tell me like everything like that I do, like my demeanor, how I walk, the way I run my routes, and everything. Like I used to play football too. It's like everything was just smooth and in slow motion. And then fast forward to when I started boxing and boxing with my coach now, Coach L. He was the one who had came up with the name Grandpa. So he added the Grandpa on there. So the reason why I got the name Grandpa was every single time that I came to the gym, and I still do it now. I'm always the one that's needing the foam roll out my muscles with the massage gun, wearing the tiger balm. So they always say like I move like an old man. So and then I always listen to like old school jams and stuff like that. So kind of have like that little old school laid back body always feel like it's crumbling type of vibe. And it fit very well. So everybody like it. It's very unique, very different. Been thinking about it for a long time. So like I said, when you really condense everything together, it's like GPS, and then you want to expand it to GP Smooth or Grandpa Smooth, however, whatever best fits for everybody.
I like the smooth. The smooth just makes it stick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It just
I
makes
definitely.
it stick, man. I love it. And then the GPS that I don't that could be interesting too because you think of you know a GPS as far as getting instructions and directions. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Then that's kind of play on words too. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It,
My brother, Primo, he was telling me like well, like we say GPS, he the first thing he had said that like came to mind was like basically like a GPS to your chin, basically. So,
oh
I
yeah,
like that one.
yeah.
for sure. So,
GPS to your chin. That's it right there. Oh, that's gold. That's gold. Tyrus, this is your show, man. I'm not trying to take over. I'm just excited.
Yeah, yeah. Um, it's definitely a unique name. Like when I first saw that joint on IG, I was like, oh shoot, this joint kind of tough. Yeah, but we've had conversations, we've talked, all the time, just about your career and stuff like that. But to let the audience know, um, what kind of got you into boxing? At that tier 1 level, just starting off. Who are some of the people that kind of like inspired you? Hey, like, this is gonna sound kind of funny, right?
Mm.
And I'm not the only one, so I'm not the only one. Everybody's had that moment where they start off a boxing movie, Rocky, Creed, and then by midway through the movie or the end of the movie, you shadow boxing in your room, and you like, shit, I can do this. And then you really like, nah, you can't really do this.
Nah,
so
it's different.
so when you really get to that stage, like I'm gonna be a boxer, and then you start training and stuff like that, what was going through your head, like to stay committed with it?
So like I said, like just originally, like back then, like I always been in sports growing up. Like my parents, all like my mom, she mainly like kept me in sports. So obviously to keep me out of trouble, keep me staying on point with everything. As long as I was doing well in school, like I was good. But it got to a point like once I got to high school, like I was like playing basketball for so long. Um, I didn't really have like that much. Like I realized like once you had got to like high school and everything like that, like levels change. So I just, long story short, I feel like at the time I had the skill, but like I said, I definitely got humbled. So it was just like a me trying to find something different. And I noticed also just in general, like I always had a temper problem growing up. So like I always wanted to fight. I always used to punch walls, all kind of stuff like that. So I asked my uncle Hall. He was a epidemiologist. He used to work with like so many folks, like just like on the way, like he got the chance to meet like he got a chance to actually work with Muhammad Ali. I meant to send you the pictures, but he worked with Muhammad Ali, Nelson Mandela, the Mother Teresa, uh, Minister Farrakhan, just a lot of great people. And I asked my mom could I box, and she told me to ask my uncle, and my uncle was like no. So, but mind you, my uncle was like a part of the Georgia amateur boxing community and everything like that. So he was very much around. I guess just from with everything like that. Yeah, Naldo, you already know that Puerto Rican heritage is always ready to fight for sure. Um, all that just kind of just like accumulated, and then once I got to college, I was at Valdosta State, and this was when I was still trying to walk on and play football and everything like that. And I remember my roommate, we call him White Mike, and he always used to, it was my roommate, and still my dog to this day. He always used to tell me like, man, like I um I think that you should, try boxing. Like you got long arms and everything like that. And I used to like back then, like a lot of times like people used to tell me stuff I didn't want to hear. I used to take it as an insult. So like when he was telling me, I'm like, I'm just trying to say, bro, I ain't good enough to like play receiver, bro, at the collegiate level. Like, bro, I got the hard work. I run routes, all that. Like I could catch the whole nine. But he's like, nah, like I really like see like that you have the physique like to really like go through with it. So I turned around and I gave it a try. Well, one of the coaches I was down in Valdosta at the time, like just doing like little training, like hitting the bag and everything like that. His name Coach Dom. So I used to do like my footwork and agility training with him as well. And like a lot of the other like college athletes and kids in high school, like in the Valdosta, Lowndes County area, like used to go to him for that. But he also did like just boxing for like cardio and stuff like that. So at the time, I also had knew this former world champion. Like I had went to school, middle school with his daughter. The fighter's name was Zaire Rahim. And I used to like reach out for him. He used to keep up with me time and time, like just throughout the years, like while I was in middle school and stuff like that. So like I just reached out to him and I was like, man, like I think like I want to like actually go through a boxing. Like I think I'm done playing football. And I used to just travel back and forth from home every other week and starting in COVID. So COVID happened, everything shut down, and football was kind of like non-existent. Like nobody knew what was going on, what was like gonna happen next, or if there was even gonna be a season. To be honest, so turned around, I was just like, from that point, I just started just like I said, pursuing boxing a lot more, just doing the training stuff and going back home and training was out here. Then one day he wasn't there. So that day he wasn't there. This was in March. I ended up meeting like the coach I'm with now, Coach L, my brother Primo, uh, Trey, Johnny Money. Shout out to everybody, man, like that I met at that time in 2020. 2021. And well, I met them a little bit further back actually when I was coming, home every 2 weeks. But that week in particular, I trained with them that entire week because my brother Primo had a fight, and I was telling Primo like what my plans was and what I wanted to do and how serious I was with competing. And he was just like, "Man, like you should just train with us." I'm like, "Shoot, man, that's cool. Like, I definitely do that. Like, it'd be like a big deal and an honor to like definitely train with another professional fighter fighting at a higher level. Got the great skills, got the great old school coach. Everybody, you just got that great family environment around you and everything like that too, and everybody support. And I can just tell that God like anointed them in my life like to be here to like help me get to where I need to get to and to help me grow, like not just as a fighter, but as a man and everything like that as well. Because like I say, it's just things like in general that you ain't really like taught, and you trying to like unlearn certain habits and stuff like that too. Like as far as like just being a man and everything like that. But I'm definitely, like I said, grateful and definitely blessed. That the Father like placed them and everything happened in His will and ordered my steps when it came to that. So um 2021, like I said, everything from there, I had came back home. There's a lot had like changed. It was a big pivot, and it started with me getting baptized and everything like that as well. So from that point and moving forward, that's when like boxing and all that just took off from that point.
Wow, that's great. That's great. That's an amazing story. That's an amazing story. There are a couple of boxers, pro box. They're pro now, of course. I'll tell you one of them, and that I know for sure that was also started in football. There's a few heavyweights that started in football, but one who became a welterweight, which is your weight class, is Sean Porter. Sean
Hmm.
Porter started as an athlete. Now, one thing he said, I'll never forget. He said that boxing is just you and the other opponent. With football, you've got to deal with all the other players. You know what I'm saying? So even if you're putting in the work and the players are slacking, then you're still going to be affected by that. And that's why he felt it was his responsibility to do that sport of boxing. Um, as you know, boxing, it's a lot of conditioning in the sport. How has the football train get you prepared? How did that play into anything at all with with you learning how to box?
I feel like it did as far as being able to enhance on like as far as the strength, just being able to be strong in the ring physically. A lot of that transferred over, but you gotta, of course, know how to use it the correct way. Obviously, same way like you can't just sit there and just like bulldoze somebody who knows how to wrestle. So, like I said, a lot of that just transfers over, and then my coach like they really like emphasis like put a lot of emphasis on footwork. So me working on footwork a lot, like with the agility ladder, going to the sand pit and everything like that. Um, like I said, my coaches like really emphasized on just using my feet a lot. My feet, for me, like my feet is like my eyes, and it's also like an extension to like my brain as well. So if I'm using my feet, I'm able to understand where I'm at, what I can't get hit with, understanding distance, and like I said, just like I said, being comfortable, and it just ignites that rhythm and being able to see everything and just being comfortable in the ring. So
How important is the sweet science of boxing to you? Have your camp ever emphasized that in terms of, I mean, we've heard Terrence Crawford say the sweet science is to hit and not get hit. Shakur Stevenson is another one who's a great example of footwork and distance, and also defense, hit but not get hit. And then there's others that are brawlers and they would just want to get in the phone booth and they just want to go at it. Where do you stand in that? Where does your camp lead you into, or is it kind of a mixture of two? I mean, where are you guys at with that?
So my coaches, Coach L, Coach Willie, Coach Musa, all three of them, they're very, everybody got their own. They're all very much similar. Like as far as their way, like when it comes to sweet science, like yeah, of course, like we want to like obviously, get the stoppage, get the win, let our hands go and everything like that. But the main thing with all three of them focus on and emphasize at like the most defense first, jab first, and using my feet. So the jab is like the most important, like the most important piece to it. Tying your lead hand to your jab, using your jab, like I said, gauge your distance. And the more you control the jab, you have more dominance of using your jab. And like say like the other opponent like it really ain't got no jab and don't have good feet, you can like take advantage completely, and it can just change the whole like perspective of everything of what's going on. Like compare like say if you're fighting a brawler, right? You got a brawler versus a boxer. That boxer is going to use his lead hand and use his feet to control, like the bull in the matador. So he's going to control everything of what's going on. He can see everything. He pivoting out, angling, taking small little movements, not moving too much, walking the aggressive fighter into shots and stuff like that as well. And then also in addition to that, like it gets to a certain point, like throughout the rounds, where like using the jab and using my feet. My brother, you be screaming at me a lot about it too. Like especially if I'm not using it enough or if I'm not changing, the trajectory. All four of them yell at me about it. But um, they stress it a lot. They can't stress it enough, and on how much emphasis they put on just making sure that I keep that lead going and using that lead hand, like not even just throwing the jab, like using it to throw hooks, set up other shots, and at some point throughout the fight, basically it's gonna be a time where all right, like you can go in and walk them down now. Go ahead and let your hands go. Be defensively smart, obviously, but the jab is like defense turning into offense back to defense. So it's not like we just sitting there just going in toe to toe, in the phone booth, eating punches. Like it's like a breaking them down over time. We taking away their confidence. We breaking everything that it is like mentally first and physically, breaking all that down, and then just like I said, to a certain point, like then that's like when you start getting the stoppages and they just start to quit and everything like that as well. So
Wow. Wow. That's great. That's what you need to do. Tyrus?
you muted.
Y'all can hear me?
Yeah,
Yep.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Let's see. I was So I was gonna ask, you know, with the conditioning, because Corey was talking about the football. Does some of the things translate from football to boxing? Um, when I was doing football and wrestling, I would probably say that like wrestling conditioning was pretty crazy. How crazy is boxing conditioning? Like how tough was it? And just the whole workout regimen, weightlifting. I seen the clips you sent me and the reels you've posted, just lifting weights, working out. Just how was it the workout regimen?
it's like everything is raised up times 20. So I feel like I was getting trained like very hard, like when it came to football. I think, however, like boxing conditioning is like a whole nother different type of animal. And it's not even like what people like kind of like miss is that you're not only dealing with the physical aspect of it, but mentally, like I say like 90%, 95% is really like just mental, like of your mind and the fortitude of carrying you through when things get tough, or just in the back end of those rounds. So like conditioning wise, I never ran so much ever in my life. And running 3 miles 3 times a week, and just over time, like my times done got faster. And then lately, I done started doing 6 miles here and there and everything like that. Of course, I don't want to overdo it, where I tweak a hamstring or something like that. But that's why recovery is important as well.
Mm.
Then also swimming, stuff like that, and just like a lot of volume training and circuit training and stuff like that is like very like pivotal. You want to be able to, like I said, just do things in volume. So that even translates over into the ring. So like throwing the jab consistently, using your lead hand consistently to work to the point like where it don't get tired, like where you got like a second like engine, and you catch your second wind, and you won't even notice it even when you getting tired. And then also in addition to that, just punch volume, and then in the midst of that, like whenever, because people shoot they load, but you also want to be able to get back to the jab, and like when you resting and stuff like that, moving your feet but still working your jab and your lead hand the whole time, and then not getting hit with shots. So all that just it coincides together as well.
But look, here's the thing, Christian. Look, your grandpa smooth. So even if you do all of that, you got the Tiger Balm ready. You got the massage. You know what I'm saying? The massage therapist on standby. Look, you already set. There's a lot of fighters. I mean, professional fighters. They just now getting the understanding that this is what they need to do. They, a lot of them didn't put that into consideration as far as their recovery. How important is that recovery for you?
Very important. I get yelled at all the time about icing. Um, icing and like I said, doing heat, and then like just through the time. So I had a recent hand injury on my sagittal, like the sagittal bone to my knuckle,
Oh,
and they said the recovery is just as important as the training. Like in fact, it is the training. So just doing things like like I said, icing, and then doing that heat. Um, for my hand, one of the things that I was doing was the pan with the hot sand. So just kind of submerging my hand in there and just squeezing the hot sand and everything like that as
wow.
well. To kind of allow that heat to get in there and take the inflammation out as well. And then, like I said, icing these, and then a lot of times, like what I used to do too, like I used to do a lot of like I didn't like needle. I don't like needles at all. But the only thing that I do was like acupuncture. So that, and
What
then
about the coupling?
I've been doing those a lot lately. The
Okay.
the coupling, massage therapy, and then it's something new I want to try. It's called float therapy. My coach had mentioned it to me, so I'll probably try that out very soon, like next week. And then obviously just stretching. So
Look,
Uh,
you need to send me the recovery package because I can use some of all of that right now, and I don't even
oh,
I don't even train for boxing. You know what I'm
for
saying? You
sure,
get old,
definitely
you get a
something.
certain age, you need all that on the regular. But I wanted to say this: how much do you understand that boxing is definitely it's not a game? It's not something that you can play. Uh, it's something that it's a very dangerous sport. Uh, people have lost their lives in this sport. People have gotten brain injury. They've gotten it's not something to play around with. How does that? How do you understand that this is not a game? Like what mental state do you need to be in, or that you have to put yourself in, or are you already in it to understand that? Look, when I go in there, it's war. When I go in there, you know what I'm saying? What's the mental state that Christian Grandpa Smooth? What mental state are you in when you're in that ring, my man?
Well, you kind of answered it. Just knowing that you have to prepare your mind for war. Like I said, being smart, being alert, but also being calm in the eye of the storm. A lot of times too, like you have to become the storm. You really think about it. I said it's really mental. You thinking in there while moving at the same time. So it's just like when you get in that flow, like you got to find your flow state. You find that flow state, kind of work your way through, see everything, just get comfortable, relax, don't overthink it, and definitely, like I said, ease your mind. I definitely like think about it, but I don't try to think about it like too much, like as far as like what's to come from it. Cause like I said, my coaches and everybody we like are so heavy on defense, where we not sitting there taking like punishment and like making sure that I'm not sitting here trying to catch every shot and block everything. So it's just like if I'm a catch, I need to be shooting something right off of it. So I they said just defense first and just keeping that structure and that base and just like I said, being calm and being that matador when the bull is coming
Yeah.
at you and just being very technical. I mean, it's not really much that you definitely need to like I said, be too overly worried about, but definitely being mindful though, because like I said, you never know. It's always those moments too, like when people get hit with them shots like that they don't see, but it's because they get lackadaisical and they turn around and get too relaxed, get over, they get too comfortable and
Yeah.
complacent. You know what's going on because somebody can be literally dominant in the whole fight,
Yeah.
and then out of nowhere, all it takes is that one shot and it just changes the whole thing. So, and we seen it happen.
Oh
So,
yeah.
seen
I
it happen.
I gotta ask. So that previous point to this one, previous to that was talking about recovery, and you briefly referenced the injury to your hand. You know, off on the phone, we talked about just how that injury that you went through kind of took you to like a dark place for a while, but and it kind of set you back. But it was also a blessing in disguise, like you was explaining to me, because the you kind of got closer to the Most High, leaned on your faith, and now you're focused on your comeback. Can you shed a little bit of light on that?
Definitely. Um, so in my last fight in August, it was August 23rd. So, like upon like the stoppage, the knockout I got in the first round, I didn't feel it obviously because the adrenaline's going. I didn't feel it rip like the hand until I pulled my hand out the glove, and I thought it was just like another swollen knuckle because I got it before, like a swollen knuckle in like one of my other fights when I fought out in DR. So I didn't really think nothing of it. So probably like 2 weeks later, I got a X-ray, and it was like it's probably just a sprain. It go down in about a couple weeks. Didn't go down, so then I went and got the MRI done, and it was like, um, you just like basically like dislocated the sagittal band. The knuckle out of its place and the sagittal band is not in place, like it's no longer in place. So they thought that I like tore it, but when they did the surgery in December, they ended up just mending everything back together. But throughout that time, like just from August really till now, it's definitely been rough for sure. It's taken a toll on me, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Definitely a testing of my faith, no doubt about it. Like I said, like I was telling T before, I definitely, uh, me and my coach, we were just sitting down talking about it, like just the days like when I just come in the gym and I'm not feeling it or I'm just in there. Just like it's a blessing in disguise. Definitely don't waddle around in it. Realize that everything definitely does happen for a reason. Same thing. My mom was telling me like just around like throughout that time like I never really like experienced like I've experienced injuries before, but not having surgery and being out.
Mm.
And I like I think like I said it was rough. So I never experienced like what it was to like really like overcome an injury. So just having mental breakdowns and crying and stuff like that, like it's all new for me. So um And the only thing I couldn't, only thing I could do was really, like I said, lean on God. I never really, like I said, had the thought of like why does this happen? It was just more so like, oh, what is he trying to show me? And this whole time is just him realigning me, reconstructing my faith, and just making sure that I'm not idolizing boxing. It's the only way to help me cope and get through life and everything like that. And realizing that without him, like I wouldn't have like the blessings that I have now. Like I wouldn't have the support system, the family that I have now. Like as far as my coaches and you know other extensive family, and obviously my main family and everybody that's just like I said there, like who's been supporting me this entire time. And then obviously I wouldn't have gotten this far on this journey and being able to advance like at the pace that I'm at now, like I said, without him. So it's definitely been a testing of my faith for sure. It's been times where I've been like, man, like I ain't been as faithful as like I always be saying. Because we human, like we go through things. And a lot of times too, like we not as men, like we not used to processing our emotions. So we just kind of just going with the flow of stuff. And then on top of that, you also dealing with your personal life and dealing with, whether it's things of like, like I said, like family passing away or just working, you just kind of just going through the motions and you just like, it's been times where I just been, like I said, on autopilot. So where like, I'm not like drowning all the way, but people can like tell, but like I said, I had like the right people in my corner and to help me get through it and people passing down knowledge and wisdom. And like I said, I'm forever grateful. So it's just, like I said, the Most High definitely blessed me in a bigger way that like I definitely couldn't even imagine. So I feel like this is like top three, top five, one of the biggest things and the biggest shifts that I needed for sure to happen in my life. So
Right. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Um, there's a lot of other fighters who also share the same faith. Keyshawn Davis, he's gone through his drama and he's won. And Andre Ward is another person,
that's
But
my favorite fighters.
there's a lot of great fighters that share that faith with you. Where do you want to go with this sport? You've recovered, you're ready to get back in the ring. You got to switch that that beast mode back on. Where do you want to go? Where do you see yourself, I would say, in 5 years, or are you just kind of taking one fight at a time, or do you have a goal set? I want to, be a championship. I want to be, I want to have an opportunity to be up there with everyone else. I want to be on the zone. I want to be, go down the list. I want someone to discover me from Top Rank, or where do you see yourself in 5 years?
So it sound cliche like when I say this, but it goes like further, deep beyond that. But like I said, obviously the goal is to become a world champion, to fight for those belts, to be recognized and have that notoriety in the in the boxing world, and just like I said, being very genuine. But we definitely taking our time for sure. Um, Taking every fight step by step. Like once we rolling and back rolling on like with the fights and everything like that, then like we rolling. We just getting experience. We traveling, getting experience from other high decorative fighters who've been fighting for a long time. And then as far as like with getting signed to like promotion, other promotion companies and stuff like that, we want to be able to be in control of everything. Being able to, we kind of like the route and the blueprint that Devin Haney got. So like what
Mm.
Devin Haney does is like but he got his own promotion label. So it's like he get to sit at the table with everybody else and negotiate, and not being left in the blind and everything like that. And then, but he's also, signing like, fight deals and stuff like that too. But we it definitely like that model and that blueprint. And like I said, just taking everything step by step and just being patient with everything, not rushing nothing. But we also know like when the time comes and it's time to actually, fight these guys, like we gonna be prepared and be ready to step to whoever, who comes in our way. So
Actually, my mic was muted while Corey asked the last question. But I was gonna ask you. You was talking about, and we talked about this as well when we was talking a while ago. Um, Not just the injury setback, but the loss of your grandfather. Just talk about what kind of man he was and what kind of effect he had on you. Because I mean, when we were talking, it just sounded like he had a big positive impact on your life and just how far you've made it. And when we was talking, man, I told you, man, I was praying for you, feeling for you, bro. And how are you feeling now?
um I definitely feel a lot better. I definitely came to closure, knowing that he's at peace, at rest. And my abuelo, my grandfather, so that side of the family, like my dad's side of the family, they're like Puerto Rican. So my abuelo, I felt like was like the last piece or like the extension, obviously, of me knowing like my Puerto Rican heritage. And um I've been like very fortunate and very curious to know more about it, being able to want to have the urge and the what's the word I'm looking for?
The interest.
The desire to obviously speak, and have the dialect a lot more down pat. It's obviously difficult because I mean he was in a whole nother country. He's born and he was raised in San Juan, but then he came to Bronx and then he moved back to San Juan. So he was living there. Um, but I'm also definitely, like I said, just very fortunate because even though I didn't really get the chance to like meet my like family on that side, like as far as the Puerto Rican side of the family, I definitely ended up gaining like an extension and just meeting a lot of people along the way. Like one of the guys, Arnaldo Jimenez. A shout out to him. This is my one of my like my coaches, Coach L. That's his friend. But I ended up, like I said, is him being like an extension. Meeting him was like another piece of an extension of that family. Another brother, Angel, my dog Vito. Like I said, just meeting a lot of people along the way. Tito Lopez, like a lot of Puerto Ricans. They're here. They're out here in Atlanta, but it's very small. It's a very small community compared to like obviously like going to San Juan or being up in New York or being down in Orlando. So just trying to find it and being able to practice, the dialect consistently has been like very difficult. And like the only thing like that I really can do, like I call my abuelo, so and I just have conversations with him. And I went out to San Juan like back in 2024 when I went out there with Arnaldo and we and his brother Che, and we got a chance to see. I don't know if y'all familiar with Sabril Matias. He had fought
Yeah.
Liam
Yeah.
Paro.
Uh,
We were so disappointed when we went out there, but
Oh,
but
yeah.
like, the environment though, everything just felt so vibrant. So I was just like, like I said, one day be able to fight out there in Puerto Rico ample amount of times. New York, Orlando, and just like I said, definitely grasp that fan base as well. And like I said, the culture is very, very beautiful, very unique. I love it. I obviously love my brothers, my African American culture as well. But everything is all tied together too when you really think about it. Everybody, look alike in a sense, and everybody has
mhm.
that
Well,
die. So
I,
like,
I was gonna say when I went there, I was fortunate enough to be able to go to San Juan, Puerto Rico. When I went there, I was like, these are people. They're the same as I was like, this is it. Where I went, the area I went, it was beautiful. I mean, it was um the people were so welcoming. The culture, it was amazing to try the food and just interact with everybody. So I definitely want to visit again for sure. And yeah, man. I didn't mean to cut you off
Oh,
though,
no,
but
you
yeah,
good.
it
Good.
was awesome when I went. I have tons of respect, and then my one of my cousins, my closest cousins, he's Puerto Rican as well. So yes.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah,
I
I went to San Juan too. I liked it. I thought the food was very good. I liked it. When I went to the restaurant, I had talked about. I asked the waitresses. I didn't know a lot of Spanish, but I did ask her about Kodo, and they saw Kodo would come in there
Mhm.
every now and again. So definitely sharing that heritage with the greats. You know what I mean? Puerto Rican greats is kind of cool, and that's awesome. I wanted to ask you about Brian Norman Jr. Do you know him, or have you interacted at all? Or
Yeah, I actually little short story. So like around the time, because I kind of went short and brief, but a little long with like the how I got started with boxing. So um, like I said, my brother Primo, I reached out to him. I reached out to Brian. I reached out to like a couple other fighters, and like before I moved back home, and I was asking, I'm like, man, I'm like 20 at the time. I was like, man, I'm 20. If I get into it now, like, like, is it too late, like, to compete? And I was, like I said, I was only thinking amateur. I wasn't expecting to go professional with it. But, like I said, just seeing like how like bright the future was with everything, and like I said, how everything was just ordered and how everything just seemed so anointed and ordained to happen. I just went through with it, but I got a chance to definitely speak with everybody, like just like at the very like beginning or kind of like before everybody like just got more so on the mainstream and everything like that and got that spotlight. So it was definitely, they said it was cool. I know, like I think right now he might be out in Houston, Houston, Texas. I think I had talked to my dog Cam. I chopped it up with him. He keep me updated too, like what be going on and stuff like that. But like I said, I reached out to like a lot of different fighters and just started following a lot of fighters. Like my other partner Cam, who I just mentioned, he's down in Florida, and then like I said, I just got the chance to like meet a lot of people too, like just along the way. And the boxing world, like it's big, but it's small at the same time. So like a lot of people that you don't realize, like that you see like on a day to day, like on social media, like Mac Truck, my dog Mac Truck, Marco, Snipe, Autumn as well. It's like a lot of them, like I was just seeing Autumn on social media, and I'm back in like a small town in Valdosta the whole time. And I just never thought, like, like I said, I get to, be training with them and everything like that. So just soaking, being a sponge around everybody like that, like it's like I said, it's big too, and that was a big part of my development and growth as well. And then obviously the coaches that I have too, they old school. We don't really get you don't really have too much old school coaches like that anymore. But the old school coach, I feel like the best coaches. And then we also got like you know females fighters in the mix too. Big sis Tia, anything like that too. She up and coming too. Look out for Latia Williams too. My little cousin Amir Jones, everything like that too. I know I went on a tangent, but
That was good. I be seeing you post Latia to your story. Yeah, I seen some of her clips. Yeah. Uh huh.
for sure. Yeah, boxing, it's a like I said, it's a big and a small world at the same time. Like being in the boxing world is small, but then like from just like from the outside looking in, like it's big though.
yeah, it's very very big. I mean, there's the local fights that we have here. I mean, I understand there's levels. There's the local fights, then there's Pro Box TV, and then there's, you know what I mean? Then you get to the zone, you got Golden Boy, Top Rank, PBC, you go down the list, then you got the MVP and their promotion, you know what I mean? And that's huge. So it just keeps getting bigger. You got Turkey Al Sheik, and then you got that, then you got Zufa, you got just so many directions. And there's even half that I probably don't even know about. You know what I'm saying? That's always doing something. So it's like the sky's the limit. Do you have a direction? Do you know do you guys have a game plan as far as, or you're just kind of you're just getting the work in the ring, getting the rounds as much as
No,
you can? You're at what, 6th round now or 4?
well, I didn't get injured. It would have been 6. I would already been at 6, but
Yeah.
everything happened for a reason. But we definitely got a plan. Like I said, we
Yeah.
just taking our time,
Mhm.
and everything's still on track. Though it got delayed, but it ain't denied though. So
Yeah. Yeah. And you got time. You're young. You know what I mean? I think you can. I mean, I believe I'm excited. I'm appreciative of this interview with you, and I'm excited, man. Look, I'm a boxing. Let me ask you this real quick. I know Tyrus like I want to get in here real quick, but some boxers are actual fans, and some boxers are. I mean, they'll sit and watch every fight. Where are you? Where's Christian Grandpa Smooth? Are you a fan? Are you a you know what I mean? Well, where are you in the whole boxing scheme of things? Are you an enthusiast? What would you call yourself? Are you a casual? What would you say as far as all the other fighters out there?
I tell you what, I ain't no casual, but definitely a student, a pugilist. I would say. Like I said, always studying, looking at different fighters. Whether it's old school or new school. Just kind of like I said, soaking up, being a sponge to whatever it is that I can learn. Like as far as like which fighters is good at working the lead hand, which fighters is good at fighting on the inside, fighting mid range, combination fighters, like how they defense look like after throwing the shots and everything like that. So it's just kind of like taking what I can like here and there and kind of just molding it in to where I can become an all-terrain fighter. One of the first fighters that like I was actually like I had to study was Andre Ward, so SOG. So
Wow.
yeah, so Andre Ward, Mike McCallum, Larry Holmes. Like I said, Coach is definitely big on like the lead hand and jab a lot. So, but it goes all the way back to like Charlie Burley, and that was one of the most avoided fighters.
Woo.
I want to say, well, he beat Archie Moore. And, uh, what was it? He was very avoided. I forgot who else avoided him, but like I said, Archie Moore, and then I mean everybody know James Toney, but like I said, Archie Moore, Charlie Burley, Mike McCallum, and watching Mike McCallum fight like Julian Jackson and Michael Watson, and when he fought James Toney. When he fought James Toney, like the first one, that might have been like one of my favorite Mike McCallum fights. And then when he stopped Julian Jackson. So it was funny too. I got a chance to meet Julian Jackson too at Golden Gloves. He's been at like a couple of the Georgia tournaments. I got a chance to take a picture like that too. So
Wow.
they like I say, you meet people along the way. And then Marvin Hagler was big. Like my brother really liked Marvin Hagler a lot. So like a couple of his fights, he wear like the war hat and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
And they digging in the crates. My coach, they some historians, so they always sending me other videos, just interviews, how they carry themselves. If it's something that I need to see, just to like like I said, help myself get through something. And they like, oh, like this is an example like how they got through it the correct way. And just people like to like look after, like I watch like the current fighters, you say like Usyk, Jerron Ennis, I like Bam. And Arthur Beterbiev, and a lot of like the Russian fighters, a lot too. So
Yeah. Yeah, those are great people that you've named there, man. I mean, your trainers, they bring you back, boy. You can dust off them films, man. That's wild
I,
stuff, man. But that's for you to have the combination of those type of dudes and just learning and just really watching them and that's really cool, man. I applaud you. I think go ahead, Tyrus, because I'm gonna keep talking.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. I think watching some of the greats. I mean, that's a part of becoming the best version of yourself. Because I mean, you got to study the people before you. Um. I know for myself, I was reading this book last year just about some of the broadcasters that I, you know, got to pay respect to. I mean, they've been in the game for a while, so I know studying the greats is that's the way to go for sure. And I think that just with Christian's career, I think that starting off this early, it's only up. It's only up. That's why I put in there the delayed, not denied. Like Christian was saying, like when we was talking on the phone about all the things that's happened with him. We all got setbacks. We all got trials that we get taken through. But I think that he's gonna come out the fire and he's gonna come back even stronger, even more on point because he's locked in, he's focused. Um, so I'm confident in him and I'm proud of everything that he's doing. But also, because we was talking about that as well. Did you want to shed light on just some of your college stuff too? You were talking about how you started off at Valdosta State, or am I pronouncing that Valdosta State? And then
Mhm.
you went to Georgia State. You got your exercise science degree. So, what are you doing with that? And can you talk a little bit about that?
That right now, that's in the works. So I've been working on trying to transition over into the exercise science field, whether it's just like working as a physical therapist, aide, or like in a hospital or one of the private clinics. And then in addition to that, I also want to turn around and go back and retake my ACSM exam. So I know like I was like iffy on like going into like being an exercise physiologist or doing cardiac rehab. I was like, I don't really want to do that, but you got to start somewhere. And it's just like the more I did my research on it and just kind of read up on it, and I was seeing firsthand like what people do. It's like everything goes hand in hand. So it's like, regardless, I feel like in some aspect, like I'm gonna receive like a lot of joy and happiness just by being able to help people recover. Um, Back in 2024, like after I graduated, I was doing my internship. What was it, from like May through July? So the only things that I was like really just doing like throughout that time, I was just like I said, I was doing my studying, in general, doing my internship in the morning, and then I was going to training, and I was getting ready to transition over into the pros. And I feel like just being in there, and I was barely going to work. Like, I really didn't even want to go like do security, like go to work and stuff like that, because I was so like focused on like just those two things. Yeah, like it's sacrificed my paper a little bit or whatnot, but like I said, I felt like I just had like a lot more peace just being able to focus on my walk and focus on obviously my boxing career, and then in addition to that, being able to like help out people, whether they're like I said, the general population, the elderly, athletes, just hearing everybody's story. Like you can learn something from any and everybody, um, whether it's something valuable or something what not to do. So, like I said, just having conversations with people, and it also changes their lives. So I feel like just whatever it is, if it contributes to changing someone's lives, or changing someone's life, not necessarily monetary wise, but just like uplifting someone's spirit, or just you never know, just a simple conversation could change the trajectory of somebody, like you know wanting to be gone off this earth. Like you just never know. Just like I said, having that conversation or just helping uplift them, throughout injuries and helping them be able to get back to living a normal daily life, but being even stronger than what they was before. I like received like a great joy out of doing that. So my goal is I'm working my way back, whatever it is that I have to do to, like I said, be in that exercise, physical therapist field until, I eventually go back to school to either I'm I'm either thinking going back to get my master's in exercise science to become an athletic trainer or go into PTA physical therapy assistant school. But I think it would make more sense to just honestly go back and get my master's if I'm being honest with you. And it's more resourceful, like money wise. So and it's all really, like I said, it's really the same thing. Like I done witness people do their jobs or whatnot, and it's only little tweaks to it and certifications that makes people different. And that's like how people get, paid more and everything like that. But it's really all like the same thing for real, for real.
So I one question I want to ask you, just a little chill question. You know what I'm saying? So one thing I'll give you credit for, uh, you always got some good music in your reels. Like you always got some good music. So when you dropping your clips and you dropping your hype vids and all that stuff, your fight vids, your training vids, always got some good music. So who's the top guy, the top artist that you listen to before a fight to get you hype? If I'm taking a guess right now, I'm gonna go G Herbo. I'm gonna go G Herbo.
You already know. You
I
already
already
know.
know.
Come on now. And I definitely G Herbo go to for sure. I think like my music taste too also then kind of like changed.
Hmm.
So like I be listening like to a lot more like calm stuff. So like I really don't like being like a little funny thing. I don't really like being amped up like that before fights. Like it's just to a certain extent, like a certain notch you get to.
Hmm.
So I gotta like be in the middle. So like whether it's I'm listening to obviously G Herbo or I'm listening to like instrumentals of like somebody playing like the like a ram horn and some instrumental or hearing gospel or just anything like that, but something calm and relaxing, something like more relatable. I listen to things that I can very much relate to, or like I throw in like some old school like Anita Baker, Patti LaBelle, the Isley Brothers or something like that, where I shadow box and I'm in my groove, got my feet moving, everything under me, and I'm just calm and relaxed, honestly. Because whenever I'm like too amped up and like I'm already in the mindset to be in Terminator mode, like my muscles tense and I get away from like the jab, and then I'm already trying to be like bravado instead of being technical and smart. So I end up like start doing too
So,
much. And things
so,
start forced.
so would you say like you kind of get into, like you mentioned flow state earlier?
Hmm.
So you get the music that's going to get you focused into a flow, kind of slow things down, and then when the match starts, that's when you turn it on.
Yep. And then I also listen to like obviously like Puerto Rican music too. So it kind of get like the rhythm and the dancing and all that kind of going too. Cause I like dance in my shadow boxing too. Or it'd be like I be doing too much sometimes. But shoot, I be feeling it though. So but that's how I know though. And everybody know like they'll know like when I start dancing, I start tapping my feet or doing like little stuff like that. Like just little stuff when they see like I got a whole rhythm, it's like that's my flow state. Like from that point, like it's like I'm a you ever seen like
So I
yeah,
seen that joint in one of the clips you sent me. You was flow stating in the ring, and then you knocked him out. I seen that joint. Yeah.
definitely. So I said once I like get there and just like I said, seeing everything being comfortable and relaxing my mind and everything like that, my muscles, I'm good.
Hey man, that Oh, oh,
Yeah, I
y'all
can
can
hear
hear
you.
me? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, my fault. Something happened. But yeah, um, that's what's up. So another another guess, because I feel like I got this one, but I want to ask you for sure though. Who is your all time favorite boxer? I see you post a lot of Andre Ward. We've been mentioning him earlier tonight, so I'm assuming is that your go to guy, or do you have an all time favorite? Maybe it's too hard to pick one.
It's hard to pick one. I can give you five.
Let's do it. Give me a top five, or it don't even have to be your top five. Just give me your favorite five.
So Andre Ward, Bud, David Benavidez, Arthur Beterbiev, and right now I might just say my last one. Oh, Mike McCallum. Duh. Yeah, that's my five.
That's
That's
that's a,
that's five, right? Yeah, I said five.
yeah, that's a solid list. The main guy I've been rocking with was Bud Crawford. That last fight that was fire. That was fire.
We kept telling everybody like it's gonna be too easy for Bud. Same thing with Spence. Like I got in so many like debates with everybody like, man, Spence too big for air. I mean, yeah, Spence too big for Bud, and he gonna walk him down. And oh, I kept telling people, and they say the same thing with like Canelo, because Canelo like is at a heavier weight. So they're like, man, Bud too small to move up to 68. But I'm like, I don't think people understand like when you doing stuff like wrestling and other martial arts, and you knowing how to control somebody else's like strength and using their own strength against them, and like I said, being able to be dominant. I don't think people understand like how big of a advantage that really is. And then you having like way better footwork. I just felt like the skills was like it was a skill gap, honestly. Uh Canelo is definitely gonna go down to be a legend for sure, but I also knew like Bud had a way better jab, way more technical, has way better feet. And Canelo waits to counter too much. And then on top of that, like I feel like Bud was gonna, which he did, catch Canelo in between the shots because Canelo waiting the whole time. So and because he waiting the whole time, and then Bud taking the lead, like you gonna see what's coming next, and he already on the angle, off on the angle, seeing taking away the shots, and taking away like the force of the shots, of like taking the steam off the punches, basically. Like if he was to get hit, but they say he's seen everything, and he eventually got in that flow state. Same with Arrow. Like I saw Arrow as kind of like being like very much one dimensional. So like he go down to the body, but it's no variation like what Arrow do. Like he doesn't have better feet, doesn't have a better jab. I was so mad I wasn't able to put in that bet on Bovada. I guessed the exact round. You can ask everybody in my gym. I kept trying to put the bet in for the longest. Well, I was gonna do like quick little $50, but that $50 was gonna win me like a lot. I was putting the ninth round and everything, but like for some reason the app wasn't working. And then like hours later, somebody was like, "Oh no, the app don't work no more. You gotta use the website." And I was like, "That shit
Ooh.
ain't work." So
Christian,
Um,
they didn't want you to win that. Look, I was right there with you, man. Now I didn't get the round correct. Okay. I just knew how
yeah.
it was gonna end, and
Hmm.
how it was
Same
gonna
here.
end, I was completely correct.
yeah,
I knew that Errol Spence wasn't gonna get it. I knew that Bud Crawford was gonna win. I had an opportunity to meet a lot of these guys at the um, Boxing Hall of Fame, the International Boxing Hall of Fame, and they were all there. Everybody was there. It was a 3 year. Um, it was after COVID, and it was like a 3 year span that they had to bring everybody in together. And I had an opportunity to talk to Bud Crawford's trainer, and he was telling me the scoop. He's like, "Look, don't sleep on him. I'm telling you, Crawford is going to win this." And I was converted to Bud Crawford's team. Like I all of a sudden knew that. So I came back spreading the gospel of Crawford's going to beat Errol Spence Jr. No one believed me. A lot of people guessed and said the same thing. Oh, he's too big. He's too big. And I knew what was going to happen, and it happened the way it did. I mean, I was kind of shocked that it happened to that extreme, but he got the W. And guess who's going to be the International Boxing Hall of Fame? You know, definitely Bud Crawford's going to be there, as well as, of course, Canelo's going to be there. And when he fought Canelo,
I think he put his hand, already got his hand made and everything.
Yep. So, and he was there. So it's almost like he was there at the International Boxing Hall of Fame already, even before he fought Errol Spence. Findora was already there hanging out. So, you know, it's like you hang out with the greats and you become the greats. You know what I mean? As one of the greats. So that's a great list that you have there, man. I mean, that's anybody in your weight class that you give a little props to at all? Is there anyone in your weight class?
Haney. Say Brian. I can't really say too much about 147 because everybody moved up to like 54.
He can't say too much. He trying to beat them all. He trying to beat them all. He can't say too much. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. That's all right.
But oh yeah, you see that question right there.
Oh yeah. I was going to reference that. I didn't want to interrupt you. Yeah, somebody in the chat was like, you got Shakur Tank. Who you got?
I got Core. I had Core for sure. Core, technical, obviously the defense and the feet. Tank weights too much. You don't really throw that much. I'm gonna be real. I thought Lamont Roach won, but I got Shakur though.
I felt like Roach won that fight too because I watched that fight. I was honestly because after the fight was over, I it's called X now, X Twitter, whatever. I typed on there. I was like, eliminate all ties from sports. I hate ties. I think they're useless. You can't tie in life. You can only win or lose.
Yeah.
And that's that's a real life lesson right there. I don't believe in ties. I don't believe in ties. Eliminate all ties. No draws. Win, lose. And I feel like Roach won that fight.
Definitely. You know that is Tank, they got Tank's PBC's cash cow, so they can't let Tank go out like that. But I ain't I'm definitely not a Tank fan. I don't want to be biased, like just by the answer I'm giving. Like, yeah, Tank got skills, but like he just ain't fought nobody. Like, besides Roach, like they always be saying, like, man, Tank will smoke Shakur, he'll smoke Haney. We ain't gonna talk about Ryan because I feel like it's just like in general you drained Ryan and you drained all the other fighters and it was like a whole rehydration clause. So like if you didn't really feel confident or you felt confident enough to beat everybody, why is there like a rehydration clause? But I know like with some of like the belts from what I like seen too, I think like some of them automatically have that rehydration clause in there. So I don't think like necessarily it's on Tank, but it's still on Tank though. But I still think that Haney beats Tank. You know, regardless of what everybody want to say about the Ryan fight, I still think Haney beats Tank. And to be honest, Shakur and Tank, I'm not really too excited to see that fight happen anymore. I'd rather see Haney and Shakur if I'm being honest with you.
What about Ryan and Haney?
That needs to happen again for sure.
Yeah.
That needs to happen again for sure. I definitely feel like Haney definitely got to redeem himself, shake back. The narrative don't look good, of course, but it's just like a lot of factors that played into it, though. Like, I don't think, like, when I was telling people, I was like, it was like, man, 3 pounds don't matter. I was like, you cut down in weight and see how I feel to cut down them last 3 pounds. You'll notice a big difference, a really big difference. Like, so I walk around about no more than 165. But when I'm in camp and I'm sharp and I hit a peak, I'm always under like 160. Like I'm like 156 or something like that. So the very first time, like for my pro debut, I was fighting at 47. So it was easy for me to make the weight, but I haven't been down there in so long. Like I haven't seen that weight since like high school, which was like
Wow.
2018. Like I was at like 140, 140 between 138 to 145. And at that time, like I was trying to gain weight. Now it's like
Mm.
I'm going down, like I'm reversing. But when I got down to whenever I started getting down to like 150 to 152, my voice started getting raspy. That's how I know I'm dehydrated.
Ooh,
So
yeah.
from 150 between 147 and 150, I noticed a big difference where like my muscles and everything felt a lot more tighter. So when somebody like say like that 3 pounds don't matter, that third or anywhere between that last 1 to 3 pounds, it makes a big difference. And Ryan didn't really have to like cut down that much. And he was already able to like easily rehydrate up. Haney, he couldn't really rehydrate to his fullest. And then obviously the Ostarine. Like, come on. So I just think honestly, that fight would have went completely different if, obviously those factors didn't, conspire or whatnot. But I definitely got Haney, beating Ryan for sure.
I'm gonna be rooting for Haney. I'm gonna be rooting for Haney, and that if they do rematch, I'll be rooting for him. I'm just not a Ryan Garcia guy. He's not one of my guys that I'm really like. No diss to him. I think he's a good boxer. He's just not one of my favorites. But um, someone in the chat asked, "Is Keyshawn Davis ready for Devin Haney?"
I don't think that fight need to happen yet.
Nah. He's just saying nah.
Like Keyshawn got the pedigree and experience, but I still got Haney beat him though. I don't think that's like a fight that like. Well, I don't know. Actually, you know what? Because age wise, they already right there, and Keyshawn been around for a minute. So, being honest, that fight. I mean, that shouldn't happen before Shakur and Haney, but I don't
That
know.
should happen before Garcia
Yeah,
and
and it
Haney.
shouldn't happen before that, but um, anybody else though, I don't know. Just like by like the last fight, and Styles made fights for sure,
And
but
see, no one's talking about the Russell, you know.
he only
Russ
fought a
no one's
year.
talking about Antoine Russell. So it's like people forget about him.
He only fight once a year. I mean, isn't he still 140 champion at 140?
Yeah, I believe so.
He still got a belt at
Yeah.
140. Hitchens, I think, vacated.
Yeah. So
Shakur at 140, and then
it's
I don't
interesting. No one's calling out him. I thought that's very interesting.
who Shakur
Well,
or
anyone at 140 is not calling out the Russell brother,
well,
Antoine.
I'm about to say Haney don't fight at 40 no more. He fight at 47. He moved
Right.
up, but um, yeah, 140 though. Like, yeah, I don't know why. Well, Hitchens moving up now too, but I
Well, Hitchens over in Zuffa, so we don't know how that's gonna work.
yeah, and I think To probably gonna go up too. But
Yeah.
I was about to
Yeah.
say I think I didn't really. Well, I watched it, but I wasn't too locked in. But what was the last dude they just fought? His name started with an H. I can't remember. I can't remember. But he had his hands full with him too, though. So I don't know. I can see Lamont Roach and him fighting though. Same inner city type of fight. That fight'd be big.
Yeah, that'll be interesting because he has beef with Gary Russell Jr. So
Yeah.
that'll definitely be uh right here in the neighborhood.
Yeah, definitely.
DC, well, that would be right next door. DC versus the Maryland, kind of, so to speak.
Exactly. So that'd definitely be a big fight.
Yeah,
Make it happen for sure.
yeah, good.
That's what as a from the fan journalistic perspective. So obviously it's
Are you frozen there, sir, Tyrus? Okay, Tyrus is frozen.
No.
He said, as a fan, we gotta get him to be
He joined it back now.
Oh, there he is.
yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I was saying as a from the journalistic perspective, my view on when it comes to these boxing fights, obviously I know it's a process to build up to get to that top, those top fights, to face some of the top.
Boy got to shake back, man. He fighting right now.
my fault.
He's still fighting it.
Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, we hear you now, bro.
Oh, okay. All right. we fighting. Yeah. But I was just gonna say,
just say it. Next time you come live, just get it out, man. Just don't say what you're gonna say. Just as soon as you come back, you need to spit out what you're gonna say. Say it, Tyrus.
yeah,
Go. Just say
I
it.
got
Just
you.
say it.
I got you.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
you can't make this up.
yeah,
Christian, you can't make this up.
that's diabolical.
I wish this was a joke, but it's not, and I'm the one that tells the jokes.
You know what?
When I get to Atlanta, I gotta get to one of your fights. Okay, he's back. Uh-oh.
I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry. But I was gonna say,
he keeps doing the same thing. Just say what you're gonna say, man. Just say what you're gonna say. Just as soon as you come back, just say it, please. I'm so curious. Look, Christian and I, we're curious to see what you're gonna say. Now he's turned into something of a QR code. Is that right?
Now you got 4 screens up. Or 3.
I want to see the top fighters fight the top fighters. So I know it's a process to that. I know it takes years to get to the top.
This is when you got to get to the point. You got to get to your point. I wish I could interpret what.
You might have to type his own question into
just put in the chat. Put in the chat.
Chat box.
Put in the chat. That way we can read it and we can answer the question. Abdullah
Mason could move up and fight at 140, but it's like he's young though. He might as well.
Yeah, that's too. That's a lot of steps to go up, and he
can just go ahead and run 135.
Abdullah Mason needs to go ahead and fight. He needs to go to Japan and take care of business. I mean, he's been wanting Inoue. He's been wanting Inoue forever.
Everybody been wanting Inoue. I think you think about Shushu. Shushu been wanting Inoue.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. I meant Shushu.
Yeah, Shushu been wanting Inoue.
Yeah.
Y'all can hear me now?
Yeah. I don't know how many seconds you got left.
Yeah, my bad. I'm sorry about that. No, I just want to see the top guys fight the top guys. Like, I know it takes years to get to that, but that's all I was just trying to say. I want to see the top guys fight the top guys.
Well, it's happening a lot more often. Wouldn't you agree, Christian?
Yeah, I think with Turkey stepping in the mix, and obviously paying these fighters, there's no more of that other side of the road type of deal. Like, if people got PBC, oh yeah, like they're doing like the purse bids for like whoever gonna like I guess like mainstream the fight. But like I said, Turkey in the mix now, so it's just like now you see like the zone and top rank partnering together. Like the only outlier is really just PBC, but PBC they with Amazon Prime and stuff like that. But well, you know what? Nah, PBC with the zone, they partner with the zone too. So everybody kind of starting to partner together. And you got Zuffa and Paramount Plus and stuff like that. So it's not too much separation going on, and they making a lot of these fights happen a lot more now. So there's no more of that protecting the old type of thing. Like it's like everybody wants to see a good fight, and it's just like even if you was to lose, like they still bring you back as long as you ain't like being an embarrassment or whatnot. Like as long as you came here and you actually like fought and showcased your skills and you ain't like fold or whatnot, or just doing like little weird stuff like not making the weight and everything like that and wasting everybody's time, I think it's just like it's still more opportunity for you, like on Riyadh season and all these other cards and stuff like that, regardless of you winning or losing. So you see Gabe Rosado done fought on a lot of these cards and got opportunities and shots to upset people. And he's a
Hmm.
journeyman.
Yeah,
Uh,
they've come back. A lot of the older fighters are coming back. You got Errol Spence, like you said, and Zotto, and you got so many other fighters. Keith Thurman came back. Lomachenko's back now. So
a lot of people ain't afraid to fight nobody, and I think like I said, just having that example too in my own camp, like I said, my brother Primo, he don't be afraid to fight nobody either. So you step up and you fight like a lot of these guys, like that everybody else ain't willing to fight. You upset him. He coming in like sometimes like with the odds ain't in his favor or whatnot, but like just regardless, like everybody knows the truth too. Like the film and all that's out there too, where he done dominated like a lot of these guys and really beat them too. But you got the politics and everything like that too. Like when it comes to sports in general, and just people like having a full control on what who they want to rise next and everything like that, as far as like they next investment or whatnot. But like I said, Turkey kind of eliminating all that. It's like, man, you gonna fight or not? You want to tune up and all that extra stuff? You go back to your promoter and accept those fights. And when you come back, and you ready to fight, then what I'm saying, come holler at me, that type of ordeal. So,
yep.
like, I'm reading this question. You mean like sparring or like actual fight? Is there anyone you iron right now to share the ring with? For sparring, I can name a lot of people.
We'll see. We'll see what he says. I was gonna ask you. Um, Now I know you're still early on in your career. You're still developing. You're still learning a lot. But so far you've learned probably a lot. And I would like to ask you, what advice would you give to up and coming boxers or just people who are interested in entering boxing?
For one, to know that it's definitely not easy. It's definitely gonna be battle testing. You got to be able to learn how to balance everything. Most importantly, keeping your faith and definitely not losing yourself. And like I said, staying in control of the things that you can control. Um, and just knowing that things ain't gonna go perfect, and just like you're gonna face adversity regardless. But it's just a matter of like how you react, how you respond, which determines, how you come out on the end of it, on the end of the spectrum. But it molds you though. It molds you a lot. So they said, and they also say too, like you gotta be a little thorough to do this. So you know, it's like I said, it ain't easy. It's like the more you progress, the harder it gets. So, and I mean like mentally. Like your IQ, everything gotta improve.
Mm.
You gotta have everything handled outside of the ring, like, or else it'll show. You start to mentally shut down or just mentally check out sparring or just in practice and stuff like that. I don't have my days. I had my days for sure. Especially more, just like I said, dealing with the injury and trying to get get back to where I was, and then obviously progressing even further on top of that. Because like I said, 8 months is of not fighting. This is a long time, 8 9 months. But throughout that time, though, I was like still in the gym, um, working, working on my lead hand, running here and there. Then when I got the surgery, I was out for like a whole 3 weeks because they didn't want like the cut or anything to like get infected. But after that, back running, um, just doing the therapy, strengthening my hand, and then at some point, like once I got cleared in March, that's when I had to get the green light from my coaches of when I can actually start throwing punches. It was like just because the doctor cleared you don't mean that we cleared you. So, and I've been itching to like let my hands go for like the longest, but now like I'm back doing that. So it's just now it's all about getting my rhythm back, being more comfortable, seeing everything, just finding my way like that, like have fun again. Because right now it's just like I think like I just been overthinking it and just like I said being and stressing myself out about like not being like where I was originally or just like being so bent on trying to get my timing back. But the thing is too like you gotta also learn to have fun with it too.
That's good. Have fun with it.
Yeah.
That's important. That's important. I believe that. That's good. That's different.
When you doing something like and I know sports like boxing, sports like wrestling, you by yourself, but you're not really by yourself. You're part of a team while executing your fights by yourself. But like I know just from with football, that environment of doing like hard workouts, hard training, hard practices, but you're doing it with your guys. So that kind of makes it easier to like what you're saying, just kind of like enjoying the process. That's kind of how I, interpret it. And the same thing when I was doing wrestling, you know, yeah, I got the match by myself, me versus the other guy, but it's like that team is pouring into you. And you talk about just, I know you talked about your brother, a little bit about your coaches, but just overall the boxing team together, how are they pouring into you, and how do you pour into them?
Um, they pouring in me obviously, you know, from a family perspective, like a man, like a manhood type of community. Just having that unity, being able to pour on me as far as like what it was that they already experienced or what they seen, like how they dealt with life. Never really was no time where I felt like I couldn't like go to them, but obviously you had everybody like that was like I say like you're able to go to everybody for specific things, of course, but even just the people that ain't in the gym, of course, I say like it was helpful as well. But um, boxing, like my boxing family specifically, yeah, everybody in there is just like pouring in me as far as like like I was telling you before, just learn how to overcome, uh, getting out of that slump. At some point, it's like we get the frustration, but like quit overthinking it and like knowing like whatever it is outside, going outside the gym, like outside the ring and stuff like that, leave it out there and like don't bring it in here, basically. So like they like the whole time like, but when they say that though, it's like a they like uplifting me though. Because like I said, it's been like very difficult the whole time lately, just like these last couple months, and trying to balance everything. So I say it's family oriented. Like it don't feel like business. Like yeah, we get down to business, of course, but nah. Like at the end of the day, though, like I consider them like my family, though. So it's just like I said, we all pouring into each other the best way that we can. Even if we ain't saying nothing, we just like moving the way out, like the way how we move and how we walk and just how we move, in our daily lives and everything like that too. Is just like people see it and they kind of, we look at each other as like an example of, certain things like that we may need to see or whatnot. So
I love that, man, because it's um I think that a lot of times, like just as a guy, like um as a competitor myself, um you come into that mindset a lot of times where you're just like, I got to do this. It's me. I'm not worried about nothing else, which is true sometimes. It's true. It's true sometimes, but there's also those times. There's also those times where you're just in a situation where you need people the right people, not just anybody, but the right people to pour into you and to really help you through those dark times. You know, this is May, if I'm not mistaken. Next month is June, Men's Mental Health Month. So I just want everybody in the chat, everybody watching, you know, check on your people, check on your family, check on your friends. Um, 'Cause like shoot, not even on no deep stuff, just on the basic, like check with your guys. Cause really, I think that for us to really get to the top of where we're trying to go as far as our goals, you need the right people around you. You need the right people, and it definitely take a village uh, to really get to the top of where you're trying to go. So I think that's really good that you got like that community. Hey, I'm putting in the work with these people. I'm rooting for them. They rooting for me. That's love.
yeah, and then obviously, you got your people out, outside the gym as well too. Like
Yeah,
obviously, uh, my other friends and everything like that, and then other fighters that's just like out in the other states and stuff like that. Or like I say, you always got people that you could reach out to if you got questions about certain things too. So and how to kind of like navigate, with simple things or and I got other brothers and stuff like that as well.
I gotta ask you a question. This isn't a boxing specific question. It's more of a question just about like life, just about adulting, just being now just growing up and living life, learning lessons, and sharing advice. So um some of my younger guys, high school graduation is either coming up or they just happened. 2026 high school graduates, college graduates at the university I'm at, they just graduated today. Shout out to them. What advice would you give to high school and college graduates just about going, taking that next step from high school to college and taking that next step from college to the real world? What would be your advice to them?
It's a good question. Very vague, but very good question for sure. Well, not vague, but you get what I mean. But obviously number one, you know, keep keep the faith, walk your walk. Um, definitely don't pay attention to everybody else around you. So it's just like I was saying, like run your own race. Like life is a marathon, and everybody is on different trajectories, different pathways. And some people might move faster than others. Some people might move slower than others. But when the moment when you start trying to compare your life to others, that's when you start to stress yourself out, and that's where people get depressed and everything like that as well. So, like I said, just enjoying the things and the blessings that you have currently in your life, and learn to not overthink it, but it's okay to, like I said, make mistakes, but as long as you learn from it, like I said, you good. It's gonna be times like where you you kind of check out for the day, or you might be in a slump or whatnot, where you just like kind of like you stuck in circles or whatnot. But it said life is, like I said, definitely a marathon. So I definitely would tell people also, like, surround yourself around the right people. Surround yourself around like-minded people that's there to uplift you. You know, be very much, vigilant. Use your discernment. As it to, just like I said, move right and just continue to be you. Don't change for anybody just to fit in, or trying to get into somewhere that you don't, it ain't, really meant for you, or it's just, like I said, a different direction that everybody is, you know, meant to take. So I definitely would say that continue to walk your walk. Everything is just everybody has their own anointing, and everybody is on their own trajectory and their own walk. So like I said, continue to walk your path, and gotta reveal and order your steps, that everything that you need to do. And like I said, he'll place people in your life to help you get to where you need to be. There's one book, like, specifically, that got me through a slump. Not this one, but like just like moments in general. My coach and my brother Primo and everybody, it was like, you should read The Alchemist. So The Alchemist, excuse me, if like nobody read that book, I feel like The Alchemist is definitely like a perfect example of like how we are, like when we're walking the narrow anointed path. So along the way, like the Most High, He'll bless you with people or bless you with different tools along the way to help you get closer, obviously closer to Him, and get closer towards your purpose. So that's what The Alchemist definitely exemplified, and like I said, that's just like a perfect example on how, like, everybody should like walk their lives. Like, it's not gonna be a perfect walk. It's not gonna be perfect at all. And definitely don't try to, like I said, do things on your own, like on your own will, because it's never gonna work. So like I said, that's the advice that I would give to, you know, anybody who just graduated from high school, going into college, and people, leaving, graduating college, going into the real world. Because it's gonna get hard, but definitely, like I said, find you'll realize, like, the right people that surround you that you can lean into, or just in general, you'll see like the right the right way that you should move, and it'll help. It'll make it a lot easier as it gets more difficult.
Yeah, man, that's one of those things where it's just it's a process for sure. I think that was good advice you said. That was one of my key questions I wanted to ask, because I know that transition, it's a lot that happens. It's a lot that happens. So I
Yeah,
that a lot of the people watching, they could use that.
yeah, and I got like a lot of like little brothers, and I got a little sister too. So like I gotta be like the best example. Like,
Hmm.
even when like I said, it gets hard, and then I kind of go into hiding and stuff like that. I still gotta be like an example, because people are always watching. So I can't sit here and say like that I got faith, and then like I'm sitting here stressing out, and just still staying stuck in the slump the whole time, because now I'm being a false witness. So like I said, we human. I'm still, climbing. We all climbing, like I said, but um, I'm starting to, like I said, feel myself, climbing out of it. So I just know, like, in general, we got to be like the examples and be walking testimonies to other people as well.
Definitely. Um, I don't want to hold you up too long, but I do got to ask another question. Um, and this is more on the lighter side, but um, when it comes to meals and stuff like that, what's your top cheat day? What's your top cheat day? Because I know that's one of the perks of being a boxer. Like when you a football player, wrestler, boxer, you just work out all the time. Like you eat the cheat day, it ain't nothing. It ain't nothing. You work that off. So I know you I know you be grubbing. I be seeing some of the food you posting. So what's your top cheat day meal?
Said three. Said three, right?
Yeah, let's do it. Your top three. Go ahead.
So it could be like this lovely Friday today. Nice little 20-piece wing, you know, with half honey hot, half honey lemon pepper with fries. I might get me like a little Tahitian drink, or I might have coconut water, or like a jarrito, something like that, something light, polite. I know people be like, man, you so big bag, you just eating that in one sitting. Hey, don't worry about it. Another one, um, I say like chicken barbecue pizza. You know,
You got like favorite spots like oh I th- I don't know if I can say I put you on to this, but I'm gonna say I put you on to this.
what?
Like, we gotta trade. We gotta trade. So you put me on the G Herbo, which I
Uh,
knew about, but you put me on to him on the deeper side. You know what I'm saying? But
so
I I might have put you on the Kava. Did I put you on the Kava? Or was you hip? You was already hip?
I low key kind of was already hip. You might have said something, but I remember for sure, like my homegirl, Amaya, she was like, 'cause I kept going to Gusto's.
Uh-huh.
That's what I would go to was Gusto's. I still go to Gusto's. Be buy one get one free medical Monday. I get one. I get like two bowls on Monday. Eat my one bowl that day and then save it for the next day. But she was like, "You need to try kava." I'm like, "Kava,
Mm-hmm.
kava," and then you mentioned it too, and I'm like, "All right, bro. Let me see what kava."
I be telling Corey about it. Like that's the spot for real.
Nah, I
That's
ain't
the
gonna
spot.
kava go crazy. Kava go.
Mhm.
You gotta know what to get though. That's kind of like
Yeah.
going to Chipotle.
See,
Like,
you're right about that. It's I don't know what that stuff is. They say it's Mediterranean. I don't know what that stuff is. So that's probably what it is. So Tyrus, you're gonna have to treat me to Kava, and you're gonna show me exactly what's good because that's why I can't get with it because I don't know what that stuff is. It looks foreign to me. No pun intended. It is foreign,
yeah,
but I gotta be, I just need to know what I'm eating. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
no. See, I get like for pro. So I always do like the romaine and all that, like the mixed greens and all that. Then I get brown rice, and then I turn around and like, um, for like protein, I probably do like harissa honey chicken or something like that, or harissa. I think it's harissa high honey chicken or something like that, and then regular chicken. And I think they just added salmon. I don't know if it's still there. I do that, or it was one other one I used to get. It was one of them. And then like I add like corn and cucumbers, tomatoes. It's kind of like almost like the same thing I would get at Chipotle, except like the dipping salt, all that is different. Like the tzatziki. Oh yeah, the lamb go crazy too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
you get that tzatziki, add that tzatziki on there. I stay forgetting the type of like ranch and all that I get on there. I think it'd be the tahini
Are you
lemon herb,
are
something
you a
like.
spice guy?
You said what?
You rock with the spice?
Yeah, I get spice on my food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking. Yeah, that's good East right there. Mr. Coy not hip yet, but we gonna get him. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
You gotta tap in. You gotta tap in
We got to spread the good word because he's not hip. He's not hip.
for sure, for sure. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, somebody has a question for you, Coy.
uh,
You want me to read it for you?
yeah, read it for me.
Okay. Yeah, he said, okay, this is for comedian Coy. How you feel about the Kevin Hart roast, specifically Cat Williams, I'm assuming, showing up Is there something we missed as the audience? Oh, okay, I did see some clips from that. What'd you think?
Oh my gosh, that's so outside the box. But if you think about a roast, you think about just kind of making fun of a person. But I thought it was, and I didn't see it. Honestly, I didn't see it. I wasn't really interested in watching it. So I can't really comment too much. Everything that I've heard about it, it seemed like everybody's upset about what was said to Cheryl Underwood. You know, it's that world, man. I mean, I come from an old school background of comedy, so I would always think that the person who's making fun of you, you actually know them as a friend. You know what I'm saying? I can't really imagine writers writing for somebody tearing them down. I think it's just gotten too far out of hand, personally. I mean, me coming from a clean comedian background, and I've done a lot of different things out there overseas and all sorts of stuff. I think it's I don't know what's going on in that entertainment industry, but it seems like everyone they're just kind of shrugging it off. And if they're shrugging it off, then what can you do? There's nothing I can do. I mean, if someone's offended, then do something about it, or protest. Or if Cheryl Underwood's okay with it, then what can you do? I think it was more. Basically, the roast, it just changed, man. I know back in the day, it wasn't as harsh. It wasn't anything that was said that was disgraceful. So maybe I'm old school to not see why it has to go to that extreme, but it is what it is. I know one thing: if I get into a roast, I'm bringing everybody with me, and I'm bringing Christian with me, and he's gonna get gloved up. We're gonna meet somebody in the back after the show, after the roast. Yo, we're gonna get Tyrus gonna wrestle him up. You know what I'm saying? Yo, we're gonna get it going, and you know what I'm saying? So I'm not for all of that. Don't talk about my family members. I don't know you. Don't do that.
Mhm. So somebody else asked you,
My
do you
dog
have
Cam.
realistic? You said what?
No, I was talking about my dog Cam. This question with the Knicks. I was
Hmm.
gonna ask something too about that too.
Oh my gosh, this is about you, Christian. It's not about the Knicks. It's not about the comedy game.
We ask any question that's in the chat. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Okay, that's the rules. So
So
what
they asking, do you have realistic faith in the Knicks this year? And who would you rather play, OKC or San Antonio? Because the OKC and San Antonio, they're playing. The game just started. They're playing right now.
I don't know. I don't know. Look, the truth is, I'm from New York. The truth is, I'm from Brooklyn. Big shout out to your family members in the Bronx, Christian. So I'm a New York's. I'm a New Yorker. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna vote for the Knicks. So because I'm a boxing enthusiast. I commentate boxing. I do ring announcing, all that stuff. So I'm more in the atmosphere of boxing. I'm more, if you I know all that there is to know about boxing and what's going on. As far as the Knicks, I watch the game. I hope they win. I hope, you know what I'm saying? Who would they go up against? I don't know. I mean, right now, I mean, is the Spurs, are they gonna pull it off? We don't know. I mean,
It's So the Spurs is game 3 tonight versus OKC.
They playing.
You said what?
They playing now.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is, if I'm not mistaken, Dylan Harper and Darren Fox are out tonight. Are they both out? Or, like, I know they were questionable before the game, but that's two big losses. So it probably goes OKC tonight, but I'm hoping the Spurs pull it off. Y'all already know how I feel about OKC. Y'all already know how I feel, but that's not what this live's about. But yeah, the Knicks. I feel like the Knicks got a chance. I feel like the Knicks got a chance, but if they do match up against anybody in the West, I'm probably leaning towards the Spurs. If they make it, I probably, just being real. I respect the Knicks though. I respect the Knicks. Jalen Brunson is a dog.
It was a good game last night. So yeah, hopefully they'll pull it off. You
They
know,
might sweep. They might get the sweep on Cleveland. Another
we'll
sweep.
see. We'll see.
Yeah, I got
We'll see.
on it
I hope so.
for New York, and it's looking real promising right now.
Man, but the Spurs, I don't know, man. It's was that just a fluke to go into overtime and win that game?
I, I I don't know
Oh,
what you think, Christian, but I don't think it was a fluke. I think that when it's game one is always the feel out game. So you really go into the game with your preconceived assumptions or decisions, adjustments, but you really make those big time adjustments in like game two, game three, because game one's a fill out game. So I don't think it was a fluke or anything. I just think that both teams went in. It's game one, so let's feel it out. Let's play ball. Game two, okay, we got an idea of what they were doing. Wemby dropped 41 game two. We're gonna send Hardenstein on them, rough them up a bit. We're gonna see if that works tonight, because I guarantee you the stuff that OKC was getting away with in game two with the physicality and the flopping, that's not gonna work in San Antonio. In San Antonio, you know what I'm saying? That's the thing with the NBA. The officiating is so up and down. But I'm confident in San Antonio. They need Fox back. They need Harper back if they're gonna win the series.
My partner Cam said both of them playing.
Oh, if they both playing, they gonna win tonight. They're gonna win tonight. I'm not even worried.
now see, to show you that I don't know the NBA like I know boxing. Now Harper and Fox are on what team are they on?
So do you know you watched ball back in the 90s with the Bulls?
Yeah.
So Ron Harper played with Michael Jordan. He was the point guard. His
Oh,
son,
really? Ron Harper's still playing?
no, no. That man is a unk. He's gone. No, he's a unk, not gone, but he's a unk. He's gone out the NBA. Now
Oh, okay.
his son Dylan Harper is on the Spurs, and he's like one of the top picks in the recent draft. He's a dog. Yeah, he's a dog.
Oh, okay. Wow. Time flies.
Nah,
See, I'm a casual when it comes to basketball, but I'm enjoying it. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I say we watch the game live right now.
Pregunta.
Talk about it, commentate on it.
Good question. So like, I'm gonna give you the real. So like, my heart, it says Xander, right? But my mind is telling me Boots. Now the round, I can't give you the round. I can't give you the round. I don't know. Xander moves around a lot. Xander uses his feet, and he gonna keep moving. He ain't gonna, at some point he gonna exchange, but both of them are both liable to get hit because both of them get hit. So I don't know, but it's gonna be like a high. I can't give you a round, bro. If it was to happen, I'll say a later round though.
I like what you said because you said Xander, like, yeah, Zayas is definitely has the heart. Like he has the heart to win. We know that. So it's interesting that you said in your heart, but as far as what Ennis can bring as far as skill set, you know what I mean? It could come down to that. It could come down to who has the heart to win. You know what I mean? It could very well come down to that. I mean, we've never really seen Ennis get into any serious trouble. We know that he had some issues with people who have good footwork. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when he fought Aaron and
you know what I'm saying? So, but that's going to be a good matchup. It's going to be a good fight. And, Xander is still fresh. And I don't know, has Ennis have enough experience? He kind of jumped up in weight. So, I mean, did he do everything he had to do at 147, So
yeah, Boots a weight bully. He's a weight bully. So I mean, he couldn't really like. I don't think like from what I was told, like I don't think he could make the weight.
oh, okay.
47 no more.
It'll be a good fight.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. I actually want to go. I want to go. If it's feasible to go, I'll go. I'll do a day trip and go to Brooklyn for sure. I definitely want to see that. And I want to say this like the week after like the Puerto Rican parade in New York, or if not, like I think probably I wouldn't be surprised, but I think probably like I end up going to a fight party too though. So I'd be cool with probably the fight party too though. Well, more than likely the fight party, but I can't afford to go up there and see another Puerto Rican fighter just lose. Mm-mm. So
He might win. You never know. He might pull an upset.
he could. He said, "Who do you think Benavidez?" I don't know. I think if anything, like the direction of who Benavidez can fight next, probably be Jao Pataya, the other cruiserweight. He more than likely to fight. They're more than likely fight or Bivol, maybe Bivol, back at 175 at 175, but
Yeah, he's gonna have to wait for that because Bibbles already has a fight coming up, and then I would say Shiraz, but Shiraz, he's
he
fighting
probably
this weekend. So,
try to fight at 68 too.
oh, well, he's gonna Benavidez is probably gonna come down though. I mean, he's fluctuate.
I don't think he makes 68 no more.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that's chopped. 68 is cooked. And once he went up to 75, and I think even then he had to still cut weight to make cruiserweight. So I was just like, yeah, he beat up Zerto Ramirez bad though. It was bad.
Yeah, I kind of expected that because Zerto. I mean, I remember watching him, and he was okay. You know what I mean? And he wasn't. He was just cool to watch because of his cowboy hat and all of that, and the Mexican fighter.
Yeah,
But he didn't really show a whole lot of. To me, he didn't look that special. So
that's true.
he did what he had to do to win. But yeah, as soon as Benavidez got in there, Benavidez is just a different animal, man. He's just so different, and he just knows how to mix it up. And he's you know they call him the Mexican Monster for a reason.
Exactly. So I don't, and then Canelo ain't fighting him. So
Well, Canelo's fighting in Billy,
yeah, exactly.
which
I
you
think
know
he's
I wish he would have fought Sergio Martinez, but we know why that's not going to happen. So we'll see. Everyone already predicted Billy was going to fight Canelo anyway. So
yeah, not definitely. So and I think he was already the mandatory for it as well.
yeah, yeah. So they just kind of that draw. We going back to what you said, Tyrus. That draw
I hate draws. Yeah, I hate
that messed
ties.
it up, man. That messed it up.
Yeah. I gotta ask you too, both of you, but mainly Christian. Like when you see those fights, um, when you see those fights with like Jake Paul and those YouTubers, content creators doing their stuff, or even the Mike Tyson fight. I remember because we was watching that joint, and I had texted you about it, and we was watching that joint, and it was just like, what's going on? It's like, what? How do you feel as someone who really takes this stuff serious, someone who really trains? This is your career. This is your life. This ain't no game to you. So how do you feel about stuff like that?
It's just entertainment. I wouldn't take it serious at this point. I don't watch it though. Like I barely watch it to be honest, because of like how much of a joke it's become. But one thing I can say with Jake Paul done did, like uh he got more of like by signing like Amanda Serrano and all them, he put like more women fighters on the map. So it helped them get like more of a bigger platform as well. And then obviously you got Clarissa Shields helping as well. But that's the only thing. But other than that though, like when it comes to like when it comes to like the entertainment aspect, I really don't be too drawn to really watch that for real. Like when they talking about Floyd and Manny fighting,
And even the Floyd and Tyson. Like, come on, come on.
I'm not tapping into that. I wouldn't even waste. I don't care if it's free. I'm not watching that.
I see. Yeah.
So I mean, I catch the highlights on social media or something like that. Like cool, but I ain't really I'm not really interested in seeing it for real. That's it. But what
Yeah.
about
You go ahead.
no? Because I was asking, I was like, what about y'all when it come to that?
When it comes to like the Misfits and all of them, the Misfit boxing, I mean,
Well, Misfits. I would say Misfits a little different though. Misfits they actually getting actual fighters on there now.
yeah, they're YouTubers,
Yeah,
social
but they
media influencers.
like it's a mixture of both. So like they got the influencers. I mean, they actually sign like actual fighters on there. Like
Yeah, they got Misfit Pro now. Yeah, Misfit
yeah,
Pro. Yeah, that is pretty special. They doing that now. So
yeah,
they're switching it over a little bit, mixing it up. Yep. And MVP got some guys now fighting. And so their card is looking really good as far as the undercard. I mean, even if it's and look, you talking about is it Jake Paul got his jaw broken by AJ, so it's not a game. He knows it's not a game,
yeah. And
and
what's crazy is I think he really sat on no punching. People say he did. I don't think he did though. Like and he still. I don't know. I mean, it got paid. It got paid good.
That's y'all mentioned my guy right there, AJ. I think AJ is going to be the guy that has to defeat Tyson Fury. I want to see those two go at it. Um,
That fight finna happen too.
one of the guys I started watching, when like a few years ago was my guy. And me and Corey talked about it. My guy Deontay Wilder, and I was just like, dang, the way he lost against Fury, that was like, dang. But hopefully he can get his come back and just try to rebound. But AJ's the guy that's gonna get the redemption. At this point, AJ's the guy because like I'm a fan of both of them for real. And then who's the Ukrainian guy?
Usyk. He
I
fight. He
don't
fight him.
pronounce it right. Uski.
Usyk,
Yeah,
Usyk.
Oslander Usyk. He fights tomorrow.
He's a dog. That guy's different.
Nobody beat him. Everybody need to leave him alone. Uh, but like I feel like the next person in the heavyweight division to kind of take over is Moses Otama, and you got what's Agit Kabayel. He stopped Zane, and I think that's the last time I remember him fighting. I'm pretty sure he fought again, but that was the last fight I remember. It was a Riyadh season. I think
Yeah,
uh
yeah. I think that was his last fight. He pops in. He's like a pop tart. He just pops up every now and again. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
We don't really we haven't really gotten to know him. We don't really gotten to see him often enough. I don't know who his promoter is, but his name is still out there. They still putting his name out there, and I'm not sure who he's up to fight next. Usyk.
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what Usyk's gonna do after this. I don't know. I know at the press conference, you had the excellency talk about I've got a big surprise to all of you. I want Egypt. I want you to listen to me. I need all of the media to listen to me. What I'm about to say, listen. Something big is coming. Good night. It's like, wait, what? Like he didn't what did he say? He didn't even say what did he say? He didn't say nothing. Like you lead us on, and then you're not going to say what the big fight's coming up with
right.
Usyk. So I don't know what is up his sleeve, but whatever he's going to do is just going to be very exciting. Because they put on some exciting fights over there at the Riyadh.
Nah, definitely. It said my bro Quan said, what does Tim Zoo the question what does Tim Zoo Spencer Tim Zoo or have to shoot? I don't know, cause they both shot right now. Both of their confidence is shot right now. Both of them just coming off getting stopped. Arrow had a long layoff. Uh, they both obviously got to both overcome that mental barrier of you know not getting hit um, so much. I think I don't know. I don't know who wins. I want Arrow to win though. I want Arrow to win, but like I feel like Zoo's been more active still, and I feel like Zoo's been more battle tested lately than Arrow has. In a sense, it's only because he's been more active. Now you combine everything of what's going on, then you kind of say it's negative, but they just got to overcome that hump though. Then shaking off the ring rust and getting their flow back, just getting the confidence back, and just getting comfortable with being in the ring again and everything like that. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks
I
like
was
my
thought I
battery's
was.
about to go night night.
You said what? Your
Looks
battery?
like my battery's about to go night night, folks.
I was actually trying to pull up that OKC Spurs games, but they on the computer I'm at. It's just having some issues on my Hulu. But that's gonna be a good one tonight for sure. Yeah, I got the Spurs taking that. We hey, if you're not an OKC fan, we know who you're rooting for. Just we rooting for the Spurs. We rooting for the Spurs. Now, like as far as the West, if you're not an OKC fan, we rooting for the Spurs. On the East, you know what I'm saying? I got the Knicks in 6,
I,
Spurs in 7.
I got the Knicks in 4, man.
Well, yeah. Well, I had my initial like before the series started, I had Knicks in 6. Right now, it's looking like they could just get it over with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
Let's
then
go.
Cleveland, they I gotta see how they play at home first game because apparently Cleveland play better when they at home. But
Yeah.
like,
My thing is this: like what I saw from James Harden last night, that just can't happen. Like James Harden was just too passive. He was like, I get it, you know what I'm saying? You're trying to make the right play, but we're talking about James Harden, one of the greatest scorers in NBA history. He's just too passive. Like score, put the ball in the bucket, be aggressive. That just wasn't his game last night, and I think that's part of the reason why they lost. Like you gonna need 20 and 20 from Harden and Donovan each night, 25, 25, 30, 30. You gonna need that if you're gonna win. Because the
and
Knicks are fire.
scored 2. Mobley ain't scored the whole second half.
And they can't even that too. The bigs got to show up. The bigs for sure, but also their defense got to be better. I mean, it's one thing to say, yeah, we're not gonna let Brunson beat us, but y'all basically just let Josh Hart take over the game last night. Like you can't have that. You can't. You
And
know.
that caught me off guard. I'm like, but I
Yeah.
mean, he did hoop when he was in Villanova though. So like, people like tend to forget like it ain't just only Brunson, but because Josh Hart is playing so big in that role player role, people
People
like
forget.
discard him and think they can't score as well. Then you got Cat scoring here and there, and then um, well, my jump on 10. What? But yeah, and then you got Mikal Bridges scoring too. So
Yeah. Um. Shout out my man Josh Hart, New York Knicks. I think he's from the DMV. I don't know exactly where he's from, but I think he's from the DMV. I know he's a Commanders fan. So shout out to my guy. You know what I'm saying? Commanders, you know what it is. You know what it is, Christian. You know what it is. We up this year. We up. We back. 5, JD 5, you know what I'm saying? We coming. We coming.
Josh Hart did a great job last night, man. I was really surprised that he pulled off all those 3-point shots. Because I've been watching every now and again, and I'm like, don't give the ball to Josh. Don't let him, because he'll mess up.
What game you watching?
Let him
What
just
game you
pass the
watching?
ball because he messes up.
What game
But
you watching? Josh Hart's a dog.
but he showed off. He completely showed off. I was very happy and surprised, man. He gets the rebound. He's a great rebound. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So big shout out to Josh Hart.
Yeah. But yeah, we going on a long tangent, but to get to the main point of this live, man, Christian, I just want to thank you for joining. Thank you for coming on, man. and just chopping it up with you, talking about your career, talking about your personal life, just everything. Um, and just giving inspiration to everybody that view, because you know I think with sports, and I think you would agree with this. Like sports is not just sports; it's a metaphor for life. So a lot of people don't know this, but the Fourth and Goal Sports channel, the Fourth and Goal Sports, to me that was a metaphor for life. So like we used to have practice, coach say goal line, offense, defense is fourth and goal. You got two outcomes that's going to happen. Either the offense is going to score or the defense going to get a stop. It's a do or die situation. It's a metaphor for life. It's going to be times in life where we get into we run into a brick wall, and it's like, shoot, you got to run through it. You got to run through that brick wall, or you got to run through those problems that's getting into your way and block out everything and just make it happen. So fourth and goal is a make it happen metaphor for life. And I know that what you shared today in your boxing career is a metaphor for life. Boxing is much deeper than just a sport, so it's a metaphor for life. I think you would agree with that.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. So just want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning into the Fourth and Goal Sports YouTube channel. Fourth and Goal, you see my @ right there, @Fourth and Goal _sports on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Tap in with the content. We're going to be coming out with some clips from this live that will be posted on all platforms. And also, we'll be keeping up with the NBA playoffs and stuff like that, NFL offseason as well. We're gonna see if my man Stephon Diggs signed with the Commanders. We looking out for that. But yeah, Christian, I'm proud of you, man. Just the conversations we had. Just extremely proud of your career and everything that you're doing. And I'm praying for you always that the Most High keeps you and keeps you on the right path. So we'll chop it up soon, man. And then really, thanks again for joining. Thank you, Mr. Coy, for coming on the channel and chopping it up, sharing your insight on just your deeper knowledge of journalism and boxing. So yes, I thank you guys. Thank you, everybody. And any last words from you guys?
Oh, for say. Hey man, definitely blessed. Appreciate y'all for having me on the show. Mr. Comedian Coy, it was nice meeting you. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, definitely great, you know what I'm saying, to chop it up with y'all and definitely give insight. And like I said, it was definitely a big moment to, share the opportunity. Even I learned something from it. So
And my family I have some family live in Atlanta, so I'll definitely come and visit you and see if you're in the gym.
for sure. And I definitely keep y'all updated too. Upcoming fights and everything like that, as far as being locally or I think like right now, like I think we'll probably be out of state, and then in August we'll be back in DR. So
Oh,
Cool.
and so if anybody want to tap in and like I said be updated with everything what's going on, you can follow me on Instagram at GP Smooth SMOOVE. You be kept up with the latest updates, and then like I said, you just keep following for more support or whatnot. Like I said, I'll definitely tap in. Definitely see y'all soon. Y'all be seeing me a lot more and seeing great things happen. Yes, sir.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, everybody. It's been a great live tonight. Stay tuned in for some more content. Some clips from this live will be dropping soon. Everybody have a blessed night, a good weekend. Stay productive. Peace.
Buenas noches.